Everybody talked about the potential fight with Deontay Wilder, and he's talked a lot. You haven't said
Why
it.
is it that, like, is it an American thing that you guys talk a lot?
Apparently so.
Why?
I guess he's the heavyweight champ. The WBC is the one belt that you don't have, and he says he wants you.
Yeah.
But you have all the other belts. And there's people that will say, "Oh, well, Anthony Joshua's ducking him." But what is the real deal here? And let's be honest here, because you've fought world champions in the past. Does that make anything different with Deontay Wilder?
Just he wants more. But you have to separate what your fantasy is and what your reality is. So that's all it is. It's just wanting more. What's it? That Oliver Twist story. Can I have some more, sir? You know, you got to slap him back down and tell him, no, know your place.
Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
BoxingWords.com. When I say I promise you, I'm gonna knock out the Gypsy King as well.
Dollar DiBiase Productions.
How am I gonna let this little skinny spaghetti eat my baby?
BoxingWords.com.
Yeah, numbers don't lie, and I'm that guy. And I'm the dog with the bitch.
When I stepped on the scene, I said I wanted this bro. I said I wanted that bro.
BoxingWords.com.
You know, so I'm still on the mission.
I'm gonna chase his ass all the way up there.
I told him it's an easy fight to make.
Some of them like it, some of them don't. BoxingWords.com.
Good morning, TBV, and welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio hashtag TBV podcast. Wherever hashtags are used, we are back with another one. Fast Car Eddie Hearn in the media once again. This time, Eddie feels that the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury pay-per-view numbers are terrible. Absolutely terrible. So my question to you is, do you believe Eddie Hearn and the fact that he's saying that these numbers are terrible? Or are you a free thinker? Could Eddie be somehow pushing his own narrative? That is what we're going to discuss. I say we as if my co-host is here, but he's running a bit behind as his computer's giving him a few issues, and you all know we need that computer before we get this thing started. But I didn't want to leave you guys out there waiting too long, knowing that you're on your way to work. Shout out to everybody rocking out with us in the East Coast, 9:04 in the morning, 6:04 on West Coast time, and obviously 8 a.m. Central time. Freezing over here on the East Coast, a freezing 28 degrees. Pretty sure you guys are doing a lot better over in Cali, right on that West Coast. You're on that West Coast clock. Yeah, but we're going to talk a little bit of boxing, man. We're going to discuss Eddie Hearn, the promoter of Anthony Joshua, who's basically, has been slamming the reported pay-per-view number for the recent heavyweight fight between Wilder and Fury, where the WBC title was on the line, ended in draw. Obviously, it took place last Saturday, December 1st at the Staples Center with a record attendance of 17,600. The first previously reported number was said that it's going to be maxing out around 325 pay-per-view buys. Now, obviously, we all know that Eddie Hearn has been saying that he's trying to get this Deontay Wilder fight cemented in stone, or an Anthony Joshua fight cemented in stone for his fighter. Anthony Joshua, he wants to get Fury either in the ring or, Joshua in the ring with Wilder or Fury, whatever combination with AJ. So, we have to ask ourselves, is he just saying this to make, keep his man relevant, make negotiations more difficult or easier? It's really for you to decide. But obviously, we all know that he is a very, very vocal person and a promoter, right? And he's basically slamming the pay-per-view figures, stating that Dillian White's recent pay-per-view with Derek Chisora did a higher buy rate. And I quote, "It's now easier to make the Wilder fight versus other circumstances," said Hearns to the independent media. And I quote, "So if Wilder would have won devastatingly, he would have been a fucking nightmare. Everyone thought he lost, so he drew a lot of his stock has gone up because he is well known. It's not like he was this phenom." And I quote, "To do 300 buys is terrible, absolutely terrible. 300,000 pay-per-view buys is absolutely abysmal. Dylan White against Joseph Parker did more than 300,000 pay-per-view buys in England. I mean, we're talking about across the U.S. You can't say it's good. Canelo and Golovkin have done 1.2, and they're middleweights." But Hearns is neglecting a few things. Revenue figures. Wilder Fury at the price range of $75 for HD brought in $24.3 million in pay-per-view revenue alone, while White versus Parker, which retailed for a third of that price at only 19.95 pounds, brought in only $8.1 million. So again, don't allow yourself to be a sheep and be herded away by the shepherd. You must use your better judgment. I'm not even done giving facts because I got a whole motherfucking dozen list of heavyweights who have not done better numbers than Wilder on pay-per-view and may have done better numbers than Wilder on pay-per-view, but let's fucking compare it. Let's not take the word of some guy who's basically trying to fucking fix the public perception.
The fuck's going on here?
You know what the fuck's going on.
I speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. I can't say it enough. I speak it, believe it.
2 attempts, handed bands over. Sicko hit, shot and miss. 2 to stand over.
Turn up.
Breadwinner, huh? Look who in the building. Let me check my Instagram. I might be at 1 million.
And I'm in.
BoxingLawyers.com.
Yo, what's up? We back here with another one. Eddie Hearn has made the news again. He's out here making up his own little narratives, his own little storylines, his own little not numbers because the real numbers were in that article, but he's trying to sway public opinion that his guy is still number one and that Wilder is no way, shape, or form the number one guy. His pay-per-view numbers suck, according to Eddie Hearn, but when I read the article last night, I was like, oh, okay. And I scrolled on down to like the fucking actual number part. I was like, what the fuck is he even talking about then? If that is generating more than that, then how can you even compare it? But
he knows the sheep don't get that far in the article. They read the headline, and Eddie said the numbers were terrible. That's all we got to read. Why be free thinkers and actually click the fucking link and read the information? Why do that? No.
You're right about that. Well, unfortunately, Eddie, I did read the article and I did see where Boxing Scene brought out some numbers and points that this fight was a very successful fight, and they made 24.3 million, right? Yes, 24.3.
4.3 million in pay-per-view buys, yes. And that's only in the US. That's not UK, not not Canada. And remember, those are not PlayStation numbers, none of that shit. We don't that was the initial number still out there that Hearns is jumping all over.
Now, just to take this into consideration, at $20, 1 million pay-per-view buys will total out to be $20 million. 1 million pay-per-view buys over in the UK at $20 will total out to accumulate to be $20 million. So even at that, Wilder and Fury still outdid AJ, in my opinion. I mean,
well, not even AJ. Eddie Hearn used the comparison of White Chisora and White versus.
bro, even if AJ sold 1.3 like Eddie Hearn said he did last time, then that accumulates to like $26 million. I mean, it's not a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? That's the point that I wanted to bring up. Like, if Wilder and them does say 500,000, 600,000 next time go around, it's going to probably more than double the.
I don't know. Let's just take some shots at Eddie. Let's break out the guns. You know what I'm saying? And let them shots fly. You know, let the cannons ring, because
He's deleted.
he most certainly is. I mean, trying to clown Wilder and Fury is ridiculous, because last I checked, a UK heavyweight that is greatly adored, his word is, taken basically as, truth all the time. We care what he says, and we're talking none other than Lennox Lewis. And Lennox Lewis' first pay-per-view, Mike, do you know what he did his first pay-per-view versus Andrew Galata?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Javier, the mastermind, in full effect right now. His first pay-per-view with Galata did.
I don't know. That definitely wasn't Javier. That's Mario.
Oh shit, Mario. My bad. Mario. Shout out Mario.
Oh, you must see that message in the morning. Yeah, I was up early. But yeah. So yeah, we're talking about 300,000. Roughly 25,000 less than Wilder Fury. And remember, these numbers that we're giving you of past greats, I'm gonna hypothetically assume, Mike, that these numbers include everything. Unlike Wilder's initial numbers, this Lennox Lewis versus Andrew Galata, who's writing a story about initial numbers when it's this old, right? Like, this number should be everything, but let's hypothetically assume it's not, just for argument's sake. Let's assume these are the fresh numbers, just like Wilder Fury. Well, Lennox Lewis versus Andrew Galata only did 300,000. We got another one, Ray Mercer versus Tommy Morrison.
Great white height.
200,000.
HBO pay-per-view at that back in the day. Both of those look.
Vitaly Klitschko versus Danny Williams, the man to knock out Mike Tyson. 120,000 HBO pay-per-view buys. So why are we spreading this narrative that these numbers are not good? Let's continue, though. Tyson in 1988 versus Spinks did 700 buys. We're talking about a Mike Tyson that won a title, before 21? He's kind of like the equivalent of Kobe, going straight into the pros.
I believe he won a title in 1986, right?
All right. So we're talking about a fast-tracked heavyweight phenom with huge power, and his first pay-per-view was 700. Not the opposite of a quote-unquote, according to the media or the, detractors, someone in Wilder's position is presumed to have been regressed. The argument is, 40 wins. He hasn't fought anybody. So it's a difference for Tyson that came out of the gate pitching heat. And his pay-per-view is only 700, which is almost half, 25,000 away from being half of the legendary Mike Tyson for the first pay-per-view. And we're not even talking people out of this weight class. Because, we can easily throw Floyd in there and Gennady and all those other people that have done under 300,000. I'm just only reporting on this to put the question out there, pose it to the listeners. What's really going through the mind of Eddie where his lies are becoming so transparent? I mean, this information is a Google search away. How many heavyweights have done 300 or less and it was considered good? Why has the goalpost changed?
I mean, you absolutely know why the goalpost has changed. I mean, Wilder's trying to make himself bigger, make his brand bigger, and make his negotiating power greater. And when it's time to come and talk to AJ and Eddie, and Eddie's trying to see that, and he's trying to play what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now, but he's trying to make the public know that, hey man, this guy's not doing what they claim that he's doing. 300,000 buys is not a huge buy rate. It's not this and not that. But one thing that the article didn't bring up that Frank Warren did, which I thought it was fucking mind blowing. Anthony Joshua last fight on DAZN had 15,000, I think, live viewers or something like that. 320,000 paid to watch Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder live here in the States. And the people were like, "Oh, Anthony Joshua, he's not a U.S. fighter. He's not that." Well, let's take this into consideration. I bet you more than anything, it was more than 15,000 people that bought that fight for Fury and Wilder over in the UK. I know the numbers haven't came out yet, but it's kind of like the same kind of barometer. If one guy's from one place and the other guy's from one place, you just cross them up. So we'll see when Wilder numbers come out for the UK, what the numbers will be versus Anthony Joshua's numbers here in the States when he was fighting.
So one narrative that Eddie tried to use is, oh, look at what Canelo and Triple G did. They did 1.2. Well, last I checked, Canelo has pay-per-views with Cotto, Mayweather, and he's been on pay-per-view far longer than Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. And Gennady Golovkin is a bigger B-side than Tyson Fury. He has also done his own independent pay-per-view versus Lemieux and Jacobs, which did 170,000. So it's funny to me that Eddie and his sheep are reaching as much. I just seen a comment saying, oh, it's funny Nestor's giving those pay-per-view numbers of old, but he's not saying how Wilder Fury was way more promoted and should have done better. It's like, it doesn't matter what you say, they will have a counter argument until this fight happens, whichever fight it is. But that's the only thing that can silence this. And I'm sure something else will pop up.
Absolutely. Know how the fans are. One guy brought up that AJ and Klitschko made 32.5 million. I don't even know how that's a great argument. When Klitschko was known for 10 years, he was the heavyweight guy in the division. Everybody knew who Klitschko was, and AJ was the Olympic gold medal. So for them only to do 32.5 and Wilder to do 24.3 and just nipping on their heels, I think it says a lot about Wilder and the Fury's commercial buy over here in the States. Like you froze on me?
No, I'm not froze. I'm reading a comment. Someone is saying you're comparing Wilder at age 33 to Mike Tyson pay-per-view when he was like 8 years old. But that's exactly what I'm saying. Tyson had that allure about him that he was a phenom. He was doing it so young, so more people were tuned in, and it still only did 700,000. If you can't get that, it's cool. Like, you are a sheep. Like, there's nothing I can do but lead you. And right now you have your shepherd. His name is Eddie Hearn, But just for more context, Buster Douglas, after defeating Mike Tyson, so, we really should be getting that pay-per-view, what Buster Douglas did with Mike Tyson. But after defeating Mike Tyson, he fought Holyfield on Showtime pay-per-view and did 1 million buys. 1 million buys. And that's after defeating Mike Tyson, fighting Evander Holyfield, unified cruiserweight champ, to move up to heavyweight, to become probably unified in that division as well, if I'm not mistaken. Did I leave any pay-per-views out? 730,000 HBO pay-per-view buys for Holyfield's third appearance versus Harry Holmes. So that was his third pay-per-view appearance for Holyfield. And his third pay-per-view did 730,000 buys. His third time on HBO pay-per-view. The sources for these articles were all ESPN, BoxRec, and USA Today. And yeah, I mean, I just don't see how it could be argued, Canelo and Triple G's numbers, when, those guys were just two of the biggest names in boxing. I mean, their trilogy is something that we're still talking about and want. So it's just funny. It's great, though, that he's comparing Wilder and Fury to those. So he understands the magnitude of this event is the way that I'm translating it and receiving it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The event was big. It was a successful event. A lot of media, a lot of things have come out of the this event, and I'm just looking forward to seeing the rematch. I think people are very intrigued by it and are very interested in it too. So let's just get it happening, man. And Eddie Hearn, man, can we just stop the hating, bro? Like one day, just hey, man, just say good job over there on Showtime side, and we'll do the same for AJ. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't want any of these fighters to get paid anything less than what they deserve.
So now, something that I was trying to see, would you touch on it? Would we get a comment or maybe even a call? And maybe I should leave it open before I go to it. But, he said it's now easier to make the Wilder fight versus other circumstances.
I mean, maybe he feels like the improved offer from 15 million, like the 18 million or $20 million offer.
Listen, it's now easier to make the Wilder fight versus other circumstances, end quote. And I quote, so if Wilder would have won devastatingly, he would have been a fucking nightmare. Everyone thought he lost, so he drew. And although his stock has gone up because he is well known, it's not like he was this phenom. So the way I translate this is, it's easier to deal with him now because he didn't win and everyone knows he lost, so he should be humbled and take what we offer. If he would have won, he was already asking for 50%. It would have been a nightmare to deal with him. He would have wanted more. And other circumstances to me is Tyson Fury saying 60-40, AJ. It's now easier to make the Wilder fight versus other circumstances. What's the other circumstances? Obviously, it's not difficult to make AJ versus Dillian Whyte or Chisora. It's difficult to make Tyson Fury because he believes he's the A side. He believes he beat Wilder. He believes he did what AJ was afraid to do and face the big bad man. And he has the public perception and public on his side. So I believe that quote is specific to AJ versus Fury. And in Hearn's mind, he's like, Wilder didn't win, so he's gonna be more humble. But again, his research is wrong, his mathematics are wrong, because $24 million is $24 million. That's not bad. He can say whatever he wants, but that's not what Chisora Parker, that's not what Dillian Whyte Parker did. That's not what Chisora White did. So stop your lying.
Absolutely agree. I think if Fury would have won, it would have been a lot hard for those guys to make that fight over there in England. As a matter of fact, Frank Warren had an interview with IFL TV yesterday, and he was kind of elaborating on that Eddie Hearn then wanted the Wilder fight, but they didn't want the Fury fight, and he just feels like the reason why is it just be a hard fight to make. And plus what Fury said in the public, Fury wants that 60%, not Joshua. So, but with the whole Wilder thing, at the end of the day, man, Eddie Hearn's a promoter, and he's gonna say what he got to say and do what he got to do to make his guy look best in the public's eye. And from the sound of it, it's just Eddie being Eddie again, man. Eddie being Eddie again.
You know, I just hope that even though I'm taking this as, you know, him stretching the truth or, you know, being a bit of a dick or lying, whatever you want to chalk it up to, I hope that he's not lying about whatever negotiations he said. They told him to be quiet. And, you know, I would love to see something mix things up, whether that be him strike a deal with Fury or him strike a deal with Wilder and shake things up. You know, we're all assuming, oh, Wilder Fury's going back. If Eddie could somehow insert himself into this situation, shake things up, and make AJ relevant in this heavyweight division right now,
I'll pass.
With getting Wilder or Fury, I mean, what do you mean? So you won't watch Wilder Fury? You won't watch AJ Fury?
Of course I watch it, but I don't want it. I want the Wilder Fury rematch, like everybody else want. Like Wilder said on Joe Rogan yesterday. Those guys are calling. Those guys are hitting me up. Those guys are trying to get in contact with my management. But you know, we got our own things going over here. And just like Frank Warren, like reiterated, I mean,
right. Fucking Tyson is calling Eddie. He's trying to get the fight. You seen the quote? Eddie said, "Yo, Tyson called me. I don't know what his situation is with his." Oh, so he's lying about that too? You think?
I don't know what he's lying about, all right? But he said that Tyson called him, and he called Tyson to like congratulate him over the weekend. I don't think they talked about it.
AJ was gonna meet with him and everything.
I want to interview with this.
Look at the tweet. The tweet, it says like, "Oh, Tyson called me, and you know, I told him the easiest way to make an AJ fight is through me, and me and AJ are willing to come around and meet him." I mean, go through the chat.
Man, I'm going off what Frank Warren said verbatim in an interview.
Listen, don't be a sheep. You're gonna go.
I'm not being a sheep. I'm not being a sheep, but
any lie once
about the 50 million.
Yup.
I don't know details on that, but I know when it comes to his fighter.
Wilder didn't never tell me that money was coming from BT.
Okay.
Espinosa said that money ain't come from BT.
I know when it comes to his fighter. He's always been, to me, upfront and like honest. And he was like, the biggest thing that they're trying to do right now is make the Wilder rematch. And he said Eddie Hearn was going to LA to do some business with the Wilder side or whatever, but he said that from what he know, Eddie Hearn hasn't even contacted Wilder's team. So at the end of the day, man, I think all direction for the rematch needs to happen. Let AJ, if you would have watched my Brilliant Idiot thing that I posted in there, then you would know what I was talking about. But yeah, let AJ fight Ortiz or Big Baby Miller or Dillian White, like those guys said.
I mean, look, I'll take AJ Ortiz all day. I'll even take AJ Big Baby.
Both those guys think Ortiz will fuck up AJ. Like they do not think very highly of AJ. If you listen to that podcast, the shit is hilarious. Yeah, they don't think very highly of AJ on the Brilliant Idiots.
Yeah, but it's like the soundbite I played this morning. It's an American thing for us to talk shit. So, you know, it doesn't strike me as odd that Charlemagne the God, a dude from the East Coast that, you know, does a radio show in New York, comes from North Carolina, thinks that a UK
South Carolina.
All right, South Carolina, thinks that a UK dude who isn't outspoken is a bit soft. Like, that's nothing new. Like, we all think that, you know what I'm saying? He's been proven different, though. Let's go out to the phone lines. I'm going to open up these phone lines. We're going to go ahead and hit up our sponsors. Remember to drop that 5-star review on iTunes. It helps with the visibility of the show. Also, we are live streaming from our backup channel, youtube.com/Nestor Gibbs, due to copyright infringement on our main channel. But do subscribe to both channels so you can be up to date. And yeah, the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time to voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. And you can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation. Let's do this.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Going out to Bermuda. Yo, you know, I was looking up Bermuda prices. That shit is expensive, B.
Real quick, man. Big shout out to Spencer Fearon, the Master of Knowledge, man. He got his own little not video game, but like interactive game on the App Store. So y'all check that out. It's called Battle Master Knowledge, some shit like that.
Man, tell Spence come on the podcast. Stop ducking us.
I've been trying to, man.
I know he ducking. He ducking. Tell the sheep the related message. Oliver, talk to me in Bermuda. What's the weather like over there, man? Make us jealous.
It's not bad at all. No complaints, actually. I just came from Ohio to visit family, and it's much nicer over here, especially on the East Coast. How are both of y'all doing, by the way?
We're good, brother. Happy to be alive and talking boxing, bro.
Cold.
Dig it. Honestly, even when Hearn was talking about he's trying to go to LA, I believe I said it on the show. I thought he was just trying to get some of the pull or some of the energy or some of the fans, just some of the attention that both Wilder and Fury created. So they still weren't. They're still not trying to fight either of these individuals. I mean, Barry Hearn has said it. AJ himself has said it. He's not trying to fight till 2019, 2020. He said that, 2-3 years ago. And they constantly contradict themselves. So I hope, I do hope that Wilder and Fury do a rematch sooner than later, because I think with the buzz, it has the potential to create a really big pay-per-view buy number the next time around because of the controversy, because of the excitement. It was an excellent fight, so I really do hope they try to do it again. And at the end of the day, I just hope these UK fans start holding AJ accountable. You have every right to rock with whoever you want to, but you can't make excuses for them not taking fights. And I feel like it's just too often they give too much information, whether bullshit or not, to not make the fight. So you UK fans, I'm hoping you guys are boxing fans more so than AJ groupies trying to meet him in the hotel and blow him. That's my call.
Oliver in Bermuda, thanks for calling in. Man, I'm hoping that this guy tells me he's a first-time caller and that for whatever reason these numbers are not saving, because I'm going to be pissed. 859-310. Who's this? First-time caller?
Never wrote my number down. My name down. Marcel from Texas.
Man, I definitely wrote that down. It's got to be my.
You changed it from. You called me Marquise from Connecticut for like a week straight.
No, I know.
Then you changed it last week.
Yeah, I changed this. That's what I'm saying. So it's not saving. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But all right, my bad. Go ahead, take it away.
Anyway, I guess Mike. I was calling because Mike watched the interview with IFL and Frank Warren. Eddie Hearn is a hater for one, but the interview is talking about, I don't know if you've seen it, Ned, that the Wilder Fury rematch was ordered by the WBC and that the date they're looking at is supposedly April 13th. You seen that, Mike?
Yes, sir.
You ain't see that, Ned?
Yeah, I seen that they looking at. I just think that's bullshit from Frank Warren to stir the pot. Like, you ain't really going against AJ. AJ got that date already with Wembley. He gonna put another person in there with him. Like, why would you really go against AJ? They just stirring the pot.
Yeah. I'm thinking, though, if they go to Vegas, they might just shut the AJ shit down. Because, like you were saying,
could do that they could do that in America. But remember, Fury wanted it in Old Trafford Stadium, which means that would be the UK. To do 2 UK stadium fights, that would be dumb. If they're gonna do April 13th in Las Vegas, that's a different story. Yeah, they could get that off.
And then also, he was talking about that Eddie Hearn really wasn't out there in L.A. on business to talk to Fury and him, and the Wilder's people said that Wilder's people was in New York when Eddie Hearn was out there. What's your thoughts on that? That's my call.
Yeah, what's Mike? What do you? I feel like an asshole about to say what is his name? Okay, he said it's not Marquise.
Marcel.
Oh, Marcel. And I know I wrote that. I swear, if this thing is not saved, I'm gonna be really pissed off. Tired of rewriting these names over and over and over and over and over again. But what do I think of Eddie or Warren not saying that Wilder's people were there? Man, I don't know, man. I don't know if we could believe Warren, just like I'm saying, don't believe Eddie, man. Like, both dudes have agendas and invested interests, man. That's like what we gotta realize. That's just the bottom line, man. Like, yo, we could choose to believe whatever fits our narrative, but at the end of the day, they're all promoters. They all lie. Like I talked to Bob on the reg, man. You think I don't think he lies? If he lies, Eddie lies. If Eddie lies, Heyman lies. If Heyman lies, fucking everybody lies. You know what I'm saying? Troy, Baltimore, talk to me.
What's going on, Troy?
I guess Heyman ain't in that theory though, because he ain't no promoter.
What do I think? I think it's just too much closed door information out there. As fans, we should just be worried about the fight, not about what this promoter's saying or that promoter's saying. Just, we should really just be focusing on fighters fighting. There's too much nonsense out here. I don't really give a damn about it. I just want to watch a fight. I mean, because I don't have any control or say so on what happens behind closed doors. Only the parties involved do. So why do I care?
Yeah, but you don't have to care. You could simply say, man, I respect what Eddie's saying, but I don't think these are bad pay-per-view numbers. Or,
okay, listen to
I
me.
respect what Eddie's saying, and I agree. These are weak pay-per-view numbers. I mean, it's that simple.
Okay, it doesn't. Okay, listen to me. Those numbers don't matter because at the end of the day, the biggest heavyweight fight that's out there is still Wilder, Joshua. So he really doesn't need to do the rematch now. I mean, he can really just leapfrog and go right to Joshua and say, okay, I'm going to fight Joshua now. Or Joshua could say, okay, well, come fight me now. And then they fight. And then the winner could fight Fury. It's a win-win for all three men. It doesn't need to be a rematch immediately because in all honesty, since Fury is back, like everybody says, have him fight the winner of Jizorov, right? And then
Doggy, Fury's at the top of the game. He's at the top of the game.
Is he?
I mean, he's always been at the top, being the lineal champ. He never lost. He vacated his titles, right?
He's not a champion of any way.
Then he came back and performed the way that he did. I don't think it's right to say, yo, he should face Derek Chisora, Dylan White winner. Like, he's one of the three. He's one of the three. So if anything, he needs to wait and see, or not wait and see, because he doesn't deserve to wait either, because again, his performance is indicative of A-side treatment.
Hear me out. Fury's not a champion at all. He didn't vacate. He quit. He quit, and he said he quit because he was going through depression, and he did what he did. He quit. You're not a champion when you just walk away and you no, you're not a champion, period. Not on paper. He has no title.
Well, unfortunately, Troy, check this out. The same rankings that, I'm not going to say you, I'm generalizing. Same rankings that people want the Boxing Voice to do a show on because Deontay Wilder was dropped, has Fury as the lineal champ, and they have him ranked above Deontay Wilder. So you as a fan may not respect his lineal title, but the world has given him that lineal title, and they still consider him the lineal champ.
Which means what exactly?
Throughout the promotion, they were calling him the lineal champ. And now after the performance, they're calling him the lineal champ.
But it doesn't mean anything.
Well, it means something to a fighter. To a fighter, it means something because the fighter, like AJ, knows he didn't beat the man to beat the man. He knows that Fury did it. That's why he's saying, whenever you're ready, I'll give you a shot.
My good God. You know what? Have a good day, brother. I'm just tired of all the back and forth.
I know you like me just want AJ to fight him, but man, for the hell of us, he just won't do that. I don't get it. But anyway, let me go out to Canada, see if those blokes have it any better. Wait, that's an oxymoron. I called the Canadian a bloke, eh?
You just trolling this morning, huh?
You see how I threw the A in there for the Canadians?
Popping all this champagne, popping all this rosé, getting money like Jose, chain code Norway. Shorty wants that foreplay. I'm like, no way. Gotta rock it like Coldplay, killing it. OJ, getting cheese like Green Bay. Call me.
Yo, good morning, guys. You know what? First of all, before I get into the topic at hand, I think I'm gonna have to dust off my wallet and start contributing a little bit more, man. Time to maybe go back on ringer status because you guys definitely deserve it, man. I can't believe the consistency and just the sheer volume of all the shows you guys are doing, man. So that's hard work, dedication, man. So you're gonna be seeing that update pretty soon there, right? So first of all, I just wanted to say that. Yes. Second of all, RIP to HBO. I know Larry Merchant is a friend of TPV. He's been on the show and everything else, but Larry Merchant, you're an asshole. You killed HBO, son. Anyway, back to this topic. You know what? We don't need AJ, man. I don't. You guys actually think that AJ, had he fought Wilder, that the pay-per-view numbers would have been any different? It wouldn't have made a difference at all. It would have been the exact same numbers because AJ is still unknown. He's an unknown fighter in North America. Nobody
And he
knows
damn sure ain't got the personality of Fury.
Of course not. And this rematch between Fury and Wilder, that one's going to get pay-per-view buys because there's a story. Everybody loves a story. Everybody loves like a comeback kid. Everybody loves like a Rocky. And that's what Fury is, man. And he proved it. He was able to do it. Plus, I mean, it's somebody that a lot of like Americans can identify with. You know, he's a white dude. You know, like even that helps market him, right? So I think Fury is where it's at. I think Wilder and his team know that, and if they're smart, they're gonna go through Fury. Maybe if the fight is close, they can even have a trilogy. So I mean, I think this is where Joshua really hurt himself, shot himself in the foot by doing this, because now he's gonna have to wait. You know, and Fury is right now like the darling. I think he's the one that gets to pick, man, who he's going to go with. It's either going to be Joshua or Wilder, and I think, you know, he's a smart enough man to know that whatever happens with Wilder, he'll still have that fight with AJ, right? So I mean, now AJ is going to have to wait, and AJ is going to do what he always does, which is cherry pick, and you know, it's too bad. But I mean, I'm not desperate. Like, I'm a huge boxing fan, but I'm not desperate to watch AJ and Wilder fight. I'd rather watch the Fury rematch. So I mean,
yeah, but that's only just changed for you.
Is
that something that's only just changed for you because of the Wilder Fury fight? Because I mean, a week ago, everybody wanted Wilder versus AJ. I don't understand why people are not turned off.
Because the controversy that happened in the last fight.
Yeah,
but how many controversial fights have we had that didn't go into immediate rematch and we moved the fuck on? Now we're
past 2 years we had Andre Ward Kovalev, that they ran it back. Then we had Canelo Triple G, they ran it back. Yeah, big time fights nowadays, these days in time, people normally want to see it again.
All right, boys, I'm almost out, but let me say this quickly, man. Like, we still have Ortiz and we still have Big Baby Miller. Like, those guys are amazing fighters too. I want to see all those guys in the mix, man. As long as those 5 guys are fighting, I'm okay. But the fight right now that I want to see the most right now is the rematch. All right, boys, that's it, man. Thanks for your hard work and dedication. Peace.
Jose, thank you for the call and the kind words, and obviously for being a Patreon, supporting the movement. What I'll say is this, Mike. It's up to AJ, Derek Chisora, Joe Joyce, Big Baby Miller, and Dillian White to fight Luis Ortiz and to mix it up with each other. And not to mix it up, AJ versus Dillian White. We've seen that variation already. Give us something else. We've seen and are going to see now 2 times White versus Chisora. Give us something else. Chisora Joyce, okay. Chisora Luis Ortiz, okay. White Joyce, okay. White Ortiz, okay. White Ortiz.
White Miller.
Ortiz, AJ. You know, Ortiz Miller. Miller, White, whatever. But they, you know, if Wilder and Fury move into a world where they're doing their rematch and it's official, it's up to AJ to step up to the plate. Give us either Big Baby, which it's kind of like a live ball because that's what they always wanted. Giving Big Baby as an option it's like, yo, thank you, but I've been saying this. My promoter's been saying this, that we wanted to do this as early as last August in New York. So thanks, guys. So in actuality, I would rather him see face Ortiz, but I know we ain't gonna get that. And Big Baby's my dude. I fuck with him too. I know he could put that work in. So it's like, fuck it. I know they're gonna take Big Baby to do it that way. But
have you heard anything from the Ortiz camp about them signing with Eddie, or is that just
nah. I haven't even called since the fight, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I'm looking at it like vacation time. The only one still working is Wilder because of the magnitude of the event. But I'm looking at Ortiz and all those other guys, like, you know, they got a fight. They're going on that, you know, 2-week, 3-week vacation. Then they back in business. Let's get to some callers. We got Jay Hardcore, boxing news from DC. And yeah, man, it's time.
Dollar DiBiase Productions.
Jay Hardcore Boxing. You don't know shit about boxing.
BoxingWiz.com.
Okay.
Good morning, fellas. Definitely enjoyed the show this morning. I'm in the house cleaning up a little bit, so, you know, instead of listening to music, I'm listening to the show. So that's just making my day go even faster. But you know what? Eddie Hearn is doing exactly what he wants to do, because right now, he know that AJ is not the talk of the town right now. So he gonna go ahead and initiate that narrative he done pushed out. And he knows that it's gonna hit the water coolers, and that's as far as it's gonna go. All the casuals gonna eat it all the way up. You know, because they used to hearing Mayweather numbers and this, that, and other, and Canelo numbers. But it's all about how much they paying the fighters and how much they bringing in. And that fight did great numbers. And Eddie ain't no fool. He know it did good numbers, but like you said, he gonna feed the sheep what they want to hear. The only thing about that is, man, I don't think that AJ gonna fight either one of them, Wilder or Fury. He said he only deal with things that he knows is going to happen. So that's why he didn't show up at the Wilder fight, but yet he just put out that he's going to be at the White Chisora. I never can say that.
White Chisora, and also going to be at Canelo fight too.
I appreciate it. He says he's going to be there. The reason why he's going to be there is because they're going to fight April 13th. I mean, that's just they've been saying it for a long time. Eddie slipped up a long time ago and said it, and ain't nothing changed. Right now, how he said that Wilder be riding off of AJ's coattail, right now he's just trying to ride off of Fury's and Wilder coattail right now. That's all he's doing, getting his buzz out there, getting AJ name back out there, because ain't nobody been saying anything. He's like left out Lamont right now, and he's just trying to get his name back out there. Other than that, I don't think he's going to fight Fury. For the one, he ain't going to fight Fury because Fury going to outbox him. You don't want to fight Wilder because Wilder going to knock him out. We already know that Josh was chinny, man. So, I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to do what they've been doing. You know, we creatures of habit. They're going to continue on ducking until they get pushed in the corner, and they done milked everybody for their last dollar. And then, and only then, if they ain't knocked out before then, that's when they're going to finally do the fight. That's my call, fellas. Hope y'all have a great day.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in. Let me see here. Oh, shit. Hey, Jay. Man, I feel like shit right now. Jay.
Yeah.
Why you ain't telling me you still an active
What's up?
Patreon?
Bro, I thought that stuff just come across the computer and everything, bro. I mean, you know, it ain't,
I mean, I haven't
long
heard.
support, man.
I'm sorry. I haven't heard you call in so long. I just assumed. That's why, like, even your intro was I forgot you had an intro. You had to text me, but now I'm like, man, I got you down on my spreadsheet as a boomeranger. I'm like, let me double check. And yo, you're still a boomeranger, man. I apologize. I'm on top of it moving forward. You hear me? So you know you get another call if you want.
Bro,
so all you got to do is like
cool,
press
let me tell
one.
you something, bro.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got it. But recently, man, I got hit with identity theft, man, and it's been crazy for me for the last about 5 to 6 months, man. And it's just been hell, man, just trying to get my shit back. So, protect y'all stuff. I'm going to tell you, when they take it, man. Nigga bought a house in my name, bro.
Damn.
What the fuck?
That's fucked up.
Yeah, so protect it. I'm telling you, protect yourself.
Can you go live in that motherfucker?
Hell and back. Huh?
Can you go live in that motherfucker?
What did you say?
Can you go live in that house that cuz bought your name?
No. He bought it, flipped it, and sold it.
Damn, boy, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, man, we wish you the best, brother. Hope things work out and continue to go for the better. And yeah, man, don't wish that on anybody. Do apologize about the slip up. Damn, slipped up on his intro and the boomerang style. You believe it?
Man, I got fucking nigga up, man. Somebody go buy a fucking house in my name, cuz, and then flip it and sell it. God damn.
Crazy. All right. We're getting out to Adam, right? Adam, talk to me. Skype.
What's going on, Adam?
Morning, guys. How's it going?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, not bad, man. Just a quick question to you, Ness. I'm not obviously about these US pay-per-view figures. What sort of percentage does Showtime take out of that?
Man, I mean, the rumor is half, right? Like half or 45%. That's what we've always heard.
No, that's the actual cable company that's taking half. Showtime takes a percentage split with the fighter on what's left.
Yeah, that's a question to ask Espinoza, man. We're gonna have to to get an actual detailed answer. Would probably be better to ask an Espinoza or maybe a Lou DiBella, because he's also was an HBO exec back in the day before he started DBE Entertainment. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you for sure. The only rumors that I hear is that the cable provider takes like 50%.
Yeah, because in the UK, Sky take 10% for pay-per-view figures. So does that come into the final figure number you guys are talking about? Is in money made, or?
I mean, when it says revenue gen,
because when your revenue is overall revenue,
yeah, exactly.
You don't start deducting and say, well, Sky took their percentage, so we still it's whatever's off the top.
Yeah, I get that. I just have you heard numbers of the UK pay-per-view numbers for this? It's been very quiet this side of the water about it.
Man,
Frank Warren said yesterday that they're still waiting for those numbers to come out. He said they should be expecting those numbers sometime this week.
And don't forget, Adam, that Espinoza break-even point was 250,000 pay-per-views. So if we're going with the initial 325, he's 75,000 pay-per-views in the green, which are profit. So if 250 breaks him even for all that hoopla promotion, 75,000 pay-per-views is profit at $75. So I don't know.
Yeah, they're good numbers still, man. I still think they're good numbers first time round.
Yeah, I mean, for first time out, it is, because it's comparable with Mayweather. It's comparable with Lennox Lewis. It's comparable with many people, You
can't compare UK to US, man. The guys over this side are tribal, and they'll just buy anything that's spurred to them by a certain person. You kind of just got to forget that and look at it as it is. You'll never get bigger buys on BT than Sky, because Sky just pump more money into the sport as it is.
Yeah.
All right, boys, have a good one now.
All right, Adam. Well, thanks for calling in, brother. And I want to thank everyone else that tuned into the show. Obviously, we're here every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, 2 p.m. UK, 6 a.m. West Coast. We in this bit. All right.
Yes, sir. Every morning, Monday through Friday, even on Saturday, man, we come back with a betting show to hopefully shit don't get hectic. Hopefully we'll be back Saturday for the Canelo shit going down too. But Yeah, I mean Eddie Hearn back at it again, man. Talking his talking. Oh yeah, be on the lookout. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Akim Barak have a show coming out to the Zone. First episode comes out tomorrow, so you guys peep that out. And check out my interview with Ak today on the channel. It'll be uploaded here shortly. And yeah, Eddie Hearn always got a little narrative to push, kind of like somebody that we all know right here in TPV Zone, but we ain't gonna get in that right now. But follow me on IG at Gross1911 or on Twitter at Gross2312.
And I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend. We're on the backup channel, youtube.com/Nestor Gibbs. Subscribe to the main channel at youtube.com/The Boxing Voice. Hashtag we working, hashtag TBV podcast, wherever hashtags are used. We totally appreciate the support. Head on over to patreon.com/The Boxing Voice for a few episodes. One episode of Untitled, where we just done, I believe it was Tuesday. And we also have another episode podcast on our plans for the Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia fight and fight week. Check out what TBV has planned. Head on over to Patreon and cast your vote. Cast your vote and help us decide what to do for Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence in Dallas. Be part of the movement. Patreon.com/The Boxing Voice. Look for the posts. Listen to the podcast. Cast your vote on the post with the betting poll, or not betting poll, but voting poll. Once again, I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Catch us on the next one. Peace.